So the important thing with the breathing is that structurally, right? We all know that breathing gives us oxygen and it trades chemicals in and out of the system. But really think about the structural implications of breathing, the elasticity of the rib cage, the movement of the diaphragm to drop down when you inhale and up when you exhale, and how that massages the organs of your belly. It pumps the lymphatic system. So there's a lot of important functions that the breath is involved with. And I just notice on just everyone, the breath is shrinking down. It's also with the air quality being low, you're probably sort of suffering at the breathing level. So let's focus a little bit on making the breaths thorough, both full with your inhale. So you bring that breath in, you feel it sort of stretch against tension in your chest and rib cage. And then with your exhale, let that feel like a relaxation, a softening of that tissue and structural elasticity. And then you'll get a chance again to inhale and feel that filling up, feel that pressure of the diaphragm down onto the belly. You feel this expanded state. You might even feel it open up your back a little bit. And then with the exhale, you feel all of that just relax and settle and release. So this helps decongest the nervous system and the structure of the body, the quality breathing. So let's just do about 15, maybe 20. In the nose, all the way full. You hold the breath in, feel it like chiropractic adjustments from inside out. And then you just melt and you let all that softening, releasing, letting go to the empty place. When you're ready again, you breathe in. So each of you will be on your own rhythm. Make sure your mouth is closed. Bruce, I see you there. Make sure lips are together so that you're really forcing yourself to breathe through the nostrils, which takes more muscular effort. And see if your brain can attend to the 26 or so different muscles involved in breathing. That's a lot of different muscles involved in a breath. So rib cage, back, diaphragm, stomach, even pelvic floor, neck and throat. All of it activates, some part contracts, some part has to relax, and then they do the opposite on the exhale. A few more breaths just like that. Another good practice here is a slight bowing of your head. So noticing, is your chin jutting forward, or can you slightly draw the chin down and notice how that opens the base of the skull, the back of the head and neck. And that is a nerve plexus that flows out to the face and to the eyes and tongue and ears and everything like that. So holding that open space there. Another 8 breaths. We have 24 vertebrae, 24 movable joints in our spine. Let's begin rounding on your next exhale. Round. So it's sort of like you push your back, and you slide your hands forward and open the back, bow the head, feel that opening of the gates. Relax that effort, come back to neutral, and then go to the arching, lifting chest, lifting chin, pulling elbows back, shoulder blades back. Let's do 2 more just like it. Exhale, rounding. Feel 5 low back vertebra, 12 thoracic in the mid back and rib cage, and then 7 in the neck. all slightly gently moving. And then arching, 5 in the low back, 12 in the mid back, upper back, 7 in the neck. Experience all those movable parts. Again, rounding, 5 low back, 12 middle and upper, 7 in the neck. Feel the skull move as well. And finally, all the way up, arching. And let's settle to the middle. All 24 vertebrae gently rotating. Left hand to right knee, right hand to right hip. And then turn shoulders and rib cage, and then turn the head. Just get a gentle wringing out, like a rag getting wrung out. And then release and come back to center. We're going to do 2 to each side. So that was 1 to your right. Right hand now to left thigh, left hand on left buttock. Twist. And so you use the hand muscle or the hand and arm strength to help deepen the twist just a little bit. Relax that and turn back to center. 1 more to each side. So hand, hand, and then turn, mid back, upper back, rotate, look over the shoulder. Back to center. Once more to your left. Relax and come back to center. Again, making sure that you are at the front edge of your chair, right? So if you need to scoot a little more forward, do so and let your arms hang. Now let your right ear fall towards your right shoulder. And then just as much as feels okay, lean that way. Let your left elbow come up. Let your whole 24 vertebra spine just droop a little bit that way. And then we come back to center. Soft, right? It's not how far can I get, it's how slowly can I move and how articulately can I move in that direction so that I'm feeling each of those vertebrae move, and let that right elbow rise up. And reverse. We'll do 1 more and take it to the next level with the option of left elbow rising and maybe even left hand rising. And then here you can get this feeling of push to the sky, push to the floor, and then droop the hand, come back to center, other side, leaning and reaching. And drooping the hand, coming back to center. Shoulder blades, right shoulder blade up. Just shrug it up like a sponge getting squeezed, and then melt it and shake it out. Left side, shrug. That's called elevation of shoulder blade. And then feel how it can just slide down and relax, and then shake the arm bone like a tail shook out. Now both, shrug, feel both sides getting that nice squeeze, and then melt slowly like ice melting, snow melting all the way down. Shake those arms, loose, loose, loose. 1 more like that, double. And melt, 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 melt. Shake those arms loose all the way to the fingertips. Now I'm going to turn slightly sideways so you can see. Bring your legs close together so you have a little more room on each side. This arm here, moving the shoulder blade forward, that's called protraction. Then rise the shoulder blade up like we did before. Then retract the shoulder blade back as much as feels good. And then slide it down and to that totally relaxed position. Do it again. Forward, up, back, down. A nice, smooth, full circle. Let's do about 3 more. Get a feeling of thoroughness to where you're going, okay, that's my far forward, then that's my up, and then that's my back, and that's my down, and release. 2 more. And then reverse that circle. So we're going back first, up, forward, and then melting down. The down is the most important piece because we don't want to be stuck in any of these positions all the time, but we're happy to be here, relaxed and neutral, right? But we're going through to clean out the barnacles and we come back to relax. Again, 2 more. Clean out the junk and barnacles and adhesions and then relax each time. So don't just be stuck in a tense position trying to execute a movement over and over. Remember the relaxation. Switch sides. Forward, up, back, right? We cleaned it all out and then we just go down to soft. And then forward, up, back, cleaning it out and then soft. Forward, up, back, down, soft. Forward, up, back, down, soft. 1 more. Switching directions. Back, up, forward, down, soft. Eventually you can get it to where there isn't like any real stuck spots. It almost just looks like a wheel, just a wheel spinning. That's when you know you're starting to get that sung, that softening of the tissues where you can move unobstructed. And we're back to neutral. Now, both at the same time, add folding at the hips and rounding the back a little as the shoulder blades go forward. Then as they come up and back, notice the arms can really go long for the ride. You pull back and then settle those shoulder blades, arms down, and notice that pause point. And then do it again. Forward, up, back, down. So let your arms go on as much of a ride as they want, but just don't let your arms become the lead driver of the movement. Keep it in the shoulder blades. The arms act like tails flying along for the ride. 1 more. Cleaning out the junk. And we're back to the middle. Let's do it the other way. Leaning back as we bring shoulder blades back. Shrug up and roll everything forward. Noticing how your 24 spinal joints are actually involved. Can you feel how all of it works together like a swimmer, right? Like you're just really unobstructed. Everything is that word through. Through. You're letting everything move through the pathways. And we're back to neutral. Now this one is always a little trickier. Right side, forward and up. And then as it goes back and down, left side, forward and up. This one's really important though, because it wrings out this deep tissue congestion in the shoulders, the chest, the back, the neck, right? Which is different than if I just left one stable and just did one and then did the other. So by doing them simultaneously, you really start to get this wringing out that otherwise there's really no other way to get to that level. Now we go the other way, forward. So as the one arm's forward, the other's back. As one is going down, the other's up. Then forward and forward. And so we just wring it out. Wring out that tissue. Thinking of your body like a spongy material is very useful because now we're wringing it out, not letting stagnation build up. And then we relax. Now left hand on right knee, lean over and hang. So remember how we leaned over a moment ago, lean, and then draw a circle on the floor in a very relaxed way. So now you're moving just the arm bone and the shoulder socket. Stay leaned this way if that feels good, or if it's possible, you come up and now you're actually doing a circle. I'll turn sideways so you can see. And the point here is slow, control, nothing too major. And again, as Michelle was saying, if you had a shoulder injury, you might be down here doing that, but you're still thinking slow, large. Large is a relative term, so you're just paying attention to that, pushing your edge gently. And then let's let the arm hang, and we'll do the other direction of circle. So lean over and inward circles. If they get large enough and that space feels open enough, then if you just sit back up, it becomes a forward circle, as you can see here. And just unobstructed, easy as pie. If you feel yourself clenching and tensing to make it bigger, don't. Soften and just make it only as big as you can while staying soft. Last one. And release and let it just swing by your side there a little bit. And let's switch. Over top, hang outward circles. Make them as large as feels good to you, but that awareness piece of conscious, slow, controlled but soft. And then sitting up, as you keep that same direction of circle going, it becomes a forward circle. From that ball and socket joint, circle. And then let it hang. Inward circle. Once it reaches a certain size, you might feel like, okay, you want to sit up. Forward circle. Remember, appropriate to your body. So whatever that is for each joint, you find that appropriateness. And that's for each of you guys to learn your bodies. And relax, and just let it hang and swing, right? Just let it swing super loose. And then let's come back. All right, arms by your side. Fold at the elbows. Compress the elbow joint. Decompress the elbow joint. And then the hands drop alongside you, keeping them soft. Do this little bounce thing here with the arms. So they're soft, and they're just bouncing, loose, easy, spring-loaded. One more. Fold, decompress, soften, and then with those soft elbows, just let the hands fall down alongside you there, bounce, and then float the hands up in front. Turn palms down and up, so we're focusing on forearm movement. So the upper arm is not moving, we're just doing forearm movement, like little corkscrews. Get the hand bones and fingers involved so it finishes to the end, through. Then palms up. We go in and out a little bit at the wrist. Fingers getting involved, going along for the ride. Then we do circles. Inward, drop, let them go through and out. Spin, inward, out, spin. And then eventually, can you just get out of the way? And eventually you can even sort of like throw them through the movement in a really soft, enjoyable way. And then finally hands out, turn palms outward, drop and come through, up and out like you're offering something. Spin, drop, come through and out, spin, through and out. Then can you just get out of the way? And then eventually, can you even just throw the wrists and hands through that movement? Just easy peasy, soft. And then release down. Hands up, fingers. So try to limit any movement anywhere else. So now we're just focusing on hands, fingers. Bigger, bigger. So let's try that again from the smallest to larger, to as big a movement as you can, the thumb involved, and done. Now, hands up in front. Turn the arms up, palms up, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch the back, take a breath in. Then tiger claw into a fist as you exhale, wrap, come around, bow the head, pull elbows in, press elbows and inner hands together. And then inhale, relax, and like a sponge filling up with liquid, open. Big breath in, holding, arching, turning palms up, look up. Exhale, claw, fist, wrap, round. Two more just like it. Inhale, open. So this emphasizes lymphatic pumping. So we got lymph nodes in the armpits. We got that diaphragm involved at pumping the lymph. So wrapping, squeezing, rounding. One more. Open, open, look up. Arms pull even just a little bit. You can see here, pull a little bit back and down, and that helps open this whole region. And then exhale. And then just relax open to center, arms come down alongside and hang. Scoot to the back of your chair. We've got hands up like a boxer. Chamber your left leg. Bring that left knee in, left heel to butt. Set it down. Chamber right leg. So you have to sort of shift your weight to one buttock, lift that leg, set it down, shift your weight to the other buttock, bring it up, set it down. Chamber. Now, chamber push kick. Chamber, push out. Now, if you can go more horizontal with openness in the hamstring, do so. If needed, push more downward, right? If you come up here and you feel pain in your back, keep the leg at an angle that feels comfortable, but push all the way through. Finish that movement. Then retract it and set it down. Other side. Push. Find the angle that you can sustain where everything's happy, and then retract. Again, chamber. So everything's compressing, and then we're releasing that power out. Then we're retracting into that power position, landing. Other side. So feel this as a compressing of power, a releasing of power, a compressing back in, reloading, and setting down. One more each side. Push out and hold. Point, flex. Point, flex. Cleaning out ankle, foot, toes. You can see when I have no shoes on how much I'm gripping and spreading and gripping and spreading. Now inward and outward. Just, it's called evert, invert. Just a little in and out. And then let's go inward circles. In, point, out, flex. In that direction. Switch directions. Out, point, in, flex. And back to center. Rechamber. And set it down. Other side. Chamber, push. Point, flex. Quite a few times. Toes, 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 right? So we have to finish. It's good for the brain. It's good for the tissues, good for the blood flow to finish, to clear that congestion through. Evert, invert, a little in and out, just to get that little waggling of the foot to clean out that pathway. And then circles, inward, point, outward, flex. Switching directions when you're ready. Out, point, in, flex. And back to center. Reload, set it down, scoot to the front edge of your chair once more. Ball and socket joint of the hip needs to corkscrew and turn in order to clean out whatever congestion is in there. So lift the left ball of foot, turn on the heel and turn that leg out as much as you can. Put the ball of foot down, lift the heel. Internally rotate, let that thigh fall in. Feel that sort of wringing out. Then lift ball of foot, open, land, lift heel, internal. Feel that wringing out. And then finally open and hold. Now press with your hands to open that space up a little bit wider, and then rub that inner left thigh out to the knee. Walk it in, lift, heel, X, internal, external, neutral, other leg, lift ball of foot, external rotation, lift heel, internal rotation, and just hold for a moment, feeling that wringing out in the hip, then external rotation, land, lift, internal, and then finally hold open, use your hands to press the legs a little wider, and then rub that inner thigh out to the knee. And then let's bring it in. Internal, external, neutral. Forward folds, hinge. And then slide those hands down, rounding and hanging. Stay rounded as you come up. So you've got those open back channels. Then as your head lifts up to look to the sky, tip your hips forward so it creates an arched back. Keep the arched back as you fold and then round. 24 vertebrae, each rounding gently. Stay rounded as you come up. Stay rounded. And then as you're lifting your head up, start tipping your hips forward. It creates a back bend. And then you fold forward. So let's do that about 3 or 4 more times. The name of it, shaking loose the heavenly pillar. I think it's a very beautiful poetic image to think of your 24 vertebrae as this pillar. They often call it as a string of pearls dangling. And we want to shake it loose so that each of these vertebrae is able to move, is able to adjust appropriately. Last one. And over time, if you practice this, you'll start to just feel this sort of lightness. There's a lightness that comes when we're not stuck at the central line. Back to neutral. Now, step your legs wide apart. Big wide stance. So it's sort of like a horse stance. Take your hands, place fingers on the inside of the knees, elbows sort of exaggeratedly flared out. Bow forward. Notice how you can bring your torso in between your legs and elbows. Now, turning left rib cage down and looking to your right, turn and feel that little bit of a twist and a wringing out. And then come back to the middle position and do it to the other side. So first make sure you're turning torso and then just a little bit of the neck. So you're not jamming your neck, really focusing on the shoulder rib cage connection. And when you turn, try to feel like you're dropping in between your shoulder blades there. Your hands stay anchored, kind of like pillars, and just gently round. And we come back to the middle, leaning up and back. Stay in that position. Notice how you can lean back, almost like you're falling back, torso back, right? If I turn sideways, you can see I'm sort of falling backwards a little bit. So just challenge that. Now, big and slow. Remember that idea I mentioned at the beginning. Leaning to your right, big and slow. Forward, and then sweep your torso through. All the way to the other side, and then lean back and around. Let's do 3 in each direction. Forward and through, and back and around. Once more, forward, through, back and around. Once you get back and around, then switch directions. Over to the left and forward and through that shoulder position. And then back. As you get better at this one, you can really be moving the pelvis around the leg bones. You're getting some interesting stuff going on there. You're also creating this sort of gentle twist. It's also got almost like a shaking loose heavenly pillar thing happening. Each vertebra is unlocking. And then let's come back to the middle. Walk, walk, walk. 3 breaths just to let everything settle. Now stand to sit, sit to stand. The feet come back a little behind the knees, the arms come alongside, fold forward at the hip crease, and then energy goes forward so your butt gets off the chair, and then push down through the earth rise all the way up, and try to get vertical without holding, without grabbing your body. Let go, but feel a good root. Fold at the hips, stick your butt back, sink, and land. So level 1, you'll remember, is sort of broken into 2 parts. Forward, pausing a moment, and then rising. And same thing on the way down, 2 parts. Folding without having bent your knees yet, then sinking. That's the 2 part, which is level 1. Now, for level 2, you just try to flow through it if that's appropriate. You just kind of go like water. Try to make it super effortless. Same thing here, you're controlling the fall. But the beauty of the hydraulic body, the water body, is that you don't have to have tension. You just align everything and use it correctly, and it ends up feeling easy. One more. Now, 5, where we don't sit on the chair, but we get as low as we can. Sink and rise. Just work on the structural piece of just folding correctly, sinking correctly. Knees are happy. Not doing unnecessary work. You're just softening through the sink. And then back up, just easy as you can. On this last one, we'll hold for 5 breaths in the squat. So pick a level that you can hold. And as I always mention, that isometric, which means the muscles are working just to keep us where we are, that is a charge building exercise. It builds stamina, potency, power. So you're staying, you're feeling a little quivers. You're holding, you're getting to like that pain, quote unquote pain of muscle fatigue. You're learning to like that warming. And then go ahead and push through the earth and rise to standing. Stay standing. Tai Chi squats. Tai Chi squats, which simply is do it wrong for a moment. Lock the knees back, and you'll notice if I turn sideways, as I lock my knees back, there's a natural pushing out of the tail, and then this area gets congested and locks up. Then when I unlock the knees, settle the tail down, now that opens up and it's through, it goes right through. So again, do it wrong, straighten, lock, go too far, and then soften all that, feel the opening, and just sinking down the amount that feels like it loads up the legs. Now let's do that rising and sinking without ever going too far. So rise and sink. Add the hands, billow cloud, scoop, rise, hands circle out, and sink. Dip into the clouds. Now, like I mentioned before, let's get bigger. And finishing all the way through the fingertips. So imagine there's a little string tied to each fingertip and it's being pulled, 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 pulled. And then now it's being pulled down, 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 down. So that you're completing the movement all the way through, kind of like a wonderfully trained ballet dancer has that gracefulness all the way to the tips of the appendages of the toes and hands. We want that same gracefulness in our bodies. Last one here, as big as you'd like. Big and round and down. Now, staying here, rock yourself slight and safe forward towards the balls of the feet. And then rock slightly away from that towards the middle foot, and then even a little bit towards your heels. But again, be safe with this. And then rock forward. And then rock back. Now, can you allow, not do, but allow, when you rock forward, your arms and shoulders are so relaxed that the hands just sort of dangle out in front, right? Because in order to hold them here, I'd have to really work. So I let go. But then as I rock back, they sort of drag along for the ride. Like a pendulum, they go a little bit behind. And then as I rock forward, they maybe get a little further out. And then rock back. 2 more. And now feel it from the center in the belly that you can control all of this without losing your centeredness. Last one. So now this is called sink chi to wash organs. We rock back. Let that circular movement happen. The arms crane wing up. Rock forward. The arms naturally sweep in a gather. Now see if you can dip into the distance. Be sort of right at your edge there. And then rock back and the hands naturally come to the mouth. Down like magnets directing our life force to the belly button area. That navel area is our life force center. Then point your fingers down, stick your tush out, and like you're sitting for a squat. Some of you will stop right about here. That's fine. Some of you might sink a little more and let the arms hang. Let your back round slightly and open. Some of you might feel like you can get a little lower. Then, with no tension in the body, push through the earth and rise back. Perfectly relaxed. Rock a little bit back to catch the circle. Then rock forward like a surging of life force through to the fingertips. Turn the palms slightly up. Rock back as if inviting life force in through the mouth and down to the navel. Pausing like magnets. And then point fingers down, sink the tush, rounding the back to open those gates. Now stay very relaxed and just push through the earth. Just push your feet down into the ground and notice how that just rises you up. 3 more. Rock a little back, circle. Rock forward like a surging, almost like a butterfly swimming maneuver. And then the hands turn to face slightly up. We rock back and drink in through the mouth, down to the belly button. And then let it go through the hips, through the knees, through the ankles. Round and open the back, hang the shoulders. Push through the earth and rise back up. Stacking 1 vertebra, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way back up. 2 more. Rocking forward. It's called dipping into the distance. And then from that distance, there's a natural, like a wave, just in, down, through, softening. And then push through the earth, rising up. 1 more. Rising up. So as you practice that one more and more, you start to feel like it's sloughing off tension. Now from our standing here, we'll do rising hands. Rock a little forward, hands go forward and up to shoulder height. And then fingertips following as we come back and down. Remember what I said earlier about large and slow. So think large, rising. And slow, but large and smooth. 1 more. Now, crane flapping wings. Hands in a scooped position in front. And we go out, but stay rounded. And create this sort of lifting of the shoulders and all the way up like a big old bird. And then melt the shoulder blades, elbows, wrists, fingertips down. I'll turn sideways so you can see that when I go up, the arms do not get pulled back, right? They stay sort of rounded as you open. And that actually is how we're built. We're built more circularly. And melt down. Again, big, right? Large. Think of it like a crane, a big old bird. All the way to the fingertips. And then we're helping to pump this lung meridian here as well. Let's do 1 more. Big one. Big bird. And through. All the way down. Sorry, hold on. Phone call. Okay. Now, Bring the hands up with the backs of the hands facing each other, up the middle. And then like a corkscrew going out to that big bird. Big bird. And then, so we're turning the arms as if scooping up through the middle and then letting them corkscrew out in a big expansive maneuver and then down like wings. One more. You can rise in the legs as you go up and out, and then sink in the legs as you come back down. Now go out to the wings, out. Turn the arms, palms up, fold at the elbow. So just at the elbow, the hands come towards each other. Now it's as if they're holding something, and they fall down and through. Crane wing, you can rise a little, roll and fold, and then settle. One more. Embracing the moon now. Wings, big wings. Now left arm up and over as right arm comes under. Time it so that they arrive holding a big ball. Then left arm corkscrew out, right arm like a wing. They meet at wing height. And then switching, and you can sink in your legs as you move there. And again, so this is where it starts to feel a little more like Tai Chi because we're doing opposite movements. When we're doing symmetrical movements, it's a little easier for the brain, and that's considered, a lot of Qigong moves are more that way. And the Tai Chi is where we start to challenge. Can you move left arm one way, right arm the other way, time them, feel connected as you do it. One more time, out to the wings. Hands coming down, totally relaxed and hanging. Shift your weight more to your right leg. Let your body weight go through the hip, the knee, the ankle to that ball of foot like a bullseye. Shift to the left. Hit the bullseye. In the beginning, when you're doing this, it'll feel a little bit like you come up, over, and then you focus on sinking through and hitting that bullseye. Over time, after doing that a little bit, because usually we're up here, and so we're trying to focus on through. Then over time, you never come up. You just stay slightly down, and it's as if you're changing underground. So you're rooted about 2 to 3 feet underground, and you're just shifting. Now, as you shift, start to just turn the pelvis. Don't even think about the arms. Just turn the hips a small amount. And you'll notice the hands and arms, as if you let them, will enjoy the freedom to just through. Shift and turn through. Let them get through the fingertips. The bear, washing paws in the stream. Shifting, turning. Now we're shifting and turning. We're going to go right into brush knee and push with both hands. So right arm crane wing, roll and fold. Left hand turns back to face the left. Shift, turn, brush and push. Let the hands go through and replace. Shift and turn. They go through and replace. Shift and turn through. Be clear, you're in your left leg. And then you go from the left to the right. Now, can you take a little tension out of the posture so that everything softens? And then execute the movement with that softness intact. Now we're going to do our golden rooster. So one more time through, over to your left side. Let the hands change. Left hand up, right hand down. Empty right foot. Step it a little behind you, toes turned out. And then sit back into that right leg. Empty the left foot. And can you touch the toes super lightly on the floor? If possible, lift and lower without tipping your teacup. If possible, lift. Find that chamber. Then lower that chambered leg down. Toes slightly turned out. Shift and change as your left leg becomes that spring-loaded full leg. Right foot steps out, light toe touch, maybe lift and lower, maybe lift and hold it in chamber, soft chamber, as you're sitting through this back leg. Lower it softly, totally empty, land it, shift and change. Either toe touch, light lift, or full chamber for Golden Rooster. Lower it empty. That's the challenge there. Then shift. Rising empty. Lowering empty. Shift. Rising empty. Lowering empty, just the leg. The hand stays up so that we can shift and change the hands. One more of each. Now, step that right foot parallel, shift to center, parallel both feet, standing bear. Shift right, turn right, sweep hand. Shift left, turn left, sweep through. Soft, just as soft as can be. On this next one, we're going into hands play with clouds. So we're sweeping across. Let your left hand sweep and turn to vapor and rise. And now we're shifting and turning cloud and lake. Vapor and rain, shift and turn, cloud, lake. Vapor and rain. Shift, turn, cloud and lake. Soften a little bit more. Feel how when you truly soften and open all the joints and let the body be hydraulic, water, then you actually feel a center in the belly. You feel how everything is controlled from this center. Two more. Fingertips. Now from here, let your right hand fall down with the left hand. Cross, back to middle. Sink chi to belly. Crane wing, roll and fold, and then like magnets, just inviting the life force we've let out to play, come back to the navel area, to the belly. Hovering the hands in front, about 3 inches in front, and our mind is resting there. And then cross the hands and let them relax down. Now we move to the right side of our space. Do it safely. If you need hand on something, please do. Move over to the right side. Open all the joints, hips, knees, ankles. Feel the ball of each foot. Put your weight through the right leg. Empty left leg, side step. Shift. Now you're in the left leg. Right foot is empty like a feather. Just bring it in, land it empty, and then change. Notice how there's some over to the right movement, but mostly it's about opening and letting everything get through. Left foot empty, step it. Shift. Get yourself safely established with the teacup in line. Step in. Shift. Changing. Now left leg is empty, just abducts or steps out. Then shift. Underground, stay rooted the whole time. So at no point are you unrooted. That's the ideal that we're working towards over time, is we're not uprooting and then rerooting, but we're just rooted, 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 rooted. We'll switch directions here, bring right foot in and then back out. And it's shift, stay rooted, but now you're using right leg as your conduit to the root. Left foot steps in, and then you're now changing. So your left leg is the conduit to the root. Right leg steps out. Stay rooted the whole time. Now, sweep left hand across, turn slightly left, bring left hand up like a cloud. Right hand in the lake. Step in and back out with the left foot. Shift, turn the hips, cloud and lake. As you vapor and rain the hands, step right foot in, keeping it empty. Now shift to the right leg, turn to the right, cloud and lake the other way. As they vapor and rain, step your left foot out, keeping it empty. So you stay in the right as you step out, and then you have somewhere to shift and turn to. Bringing that right foot in as you vapor and rain, and then shift into the right leg, turn to the right, cloud and lake. As you vapor and rain, step out. Shift and turn, cloud and lake. Switching directions just easily. Cloud or vapor and rain, step in, step out. Shift and turn. Vapor and rain, step in. Shift and turn. Vapor and rain, step out. Shift and turn. Vapor and rain, step in. Shift and turn. Vapor, rain, step out. Last one. Let your right hand come down, left hand stays down. Step in, step out. Standing bear. Standing bear. Back to the middle. Safely move to the middle of your space again, so you're not off to one side. And then shift your weight to your left leg. Turn your right foot out a little bit. Shift over there and step. This is very much like our golden rooster so far, but then we step that left foot out in front. So if you see me to the side, it's out in front, but it's also over to the left. Now shift into that front leg. Turn your hips to face the front. Keep turning your hips. Notice that you could turn your hips a little more to the corner. Keep them facing that corner and sit back. Turn your hips to face forward and then turn them a little bit to face the, it should be your right corner. Now shifting forward and turning the hips to face forward. Keep turning to face the front left corner. Then stay facing that left corner, and it might help you to do what I'm doing with the finger pointing, turning. All right, so I'm in the back leg and I'm facing this back corner. Now I'm shifting into the front leg, turning the hips to face forward and keep turning to face the front corner. Shift back, turn. Again, shift and turn. So notice how this is very much like what we do when we're doing our standing bear or our brush knee. So now let's do brush knee. Right hand up folded, left hand in the water. Shift, turn, brush knee and push. Let the hands change. One up, one down. Now you're shifting back, inviting something towards you, and turning, brush, knee, and push, sending it through. Hands change. So now we're not just shifting left and right to make the move, we're shifting forward and to that left and rotating, right? So now we're giving our brain and nervous system a new path. Let the hands change. And then this is like an inviting. So imagine something coming at you and you're saying, okay, come on in and go on through. Right? And you let the hands go through their switcheroo. Now we're exacting some power on something. We're going towards, brush and push and letting it go through. Let it through to the fingertips. Hands change-a-roo. And then we're going back, turning, and it goes through. Let's do two more. So see this as a wash of the nerves. Wash the nervous system. Let the hands go through like water, water, water. Changing. And then inviting like a wave coming back. Turning. And it just goes through. One more. Shift. Turn. Brush, knee, push. Turn to the corner to let the hands go through. And receive. Now bring left hand down. Step right foot parallel, standing bear. Standing bear back to the middle. Let's switch sides. Shift your weight to your right leg. Turn left foot out just 5, 10, 15 degrees. Shift into it. Step right foot a little bit forward. So notice how, because we turned out, our hips are pointed to this corner, right toes pointing straight ahead. Now, shift into that right leg. Turn your hips. Let's do that finger thing here. Turn and keep turning. So now your belly button and your fingers point to that right corner. Keep it at that corner as you sit back. And then turn. So now you face that left corner. And then shift, turn. So now you're facing the front. Keep turning the hips on the ball and socket joint. You face the left corner. Stay facing the left corner as you sit back. And then turn. Again, shift. Turn hips, turn torso. And then stay facing that corner as you shift back and turn. Let's do our brush knee. Left hand folded, right hand dipped in. So now we're shifting, turning hips, and keep turning. Let it go through the fingertips, all the way through. They refold and prepare. And now it's like you're drawing something towards you and moving it through, back. Then folding and getting ready. So we're loaded up. Shift, turn hips, brush knee and push. They go through and return to ready position. And now this is an inviting back, turning, let it go through. We're exacting power. We're shifting, turning, and expressing it through the fingertips here, all the way through. They change, and now we're ready to receive. Turn and let it go through. Two more. Again, the nervous system, the joints getting such interesting experience, right? They're getting these rotations. Your gaze is having to see the whole room. You're having to counterbalance because your one foot's in front, one foot's behind. Good. Now, step right foot back. Right hand comes down. Bear. Bear. And let's do 3 of that first exercise. That Qigong. Circle. Sweep around. You're rocked slightly to the tips of the foot, or the ball of the foot, the tips of the toes, and then rock back as this washing in, drinking into the belly. Then you're sinking your tail like you're sitting for a squat, but you allow a bit more rounding to open the gates of the spine. Push through the earth, rise back to standing. 2 more. You rock a little bit back, start the circle. Rock forward and sweep. Rock back and drink. Wash down to the navel. And then open all gates. Let it go through. 1 more, just like it. Rising. Sink chi to belly, crane wing, roll fold like magnets, inviting, guiding, attention, and life force back to its home in the belly. Then sealing the practice, place 1 hand over the navel, the belly button, other hand over that hand. Breathe, let the head bow if you can. If you can safely close the eyes, do so. Otherwise, just have a very soft gaze. And let this energy of the body resettle back to that home and also re-nourish the central nervous system, right? It sort of takes mechanical energy that we've just generated and then allows it to be returned back to that central nervous system and can be used to wash it, washing the central nervous system and the brain. Having no thought of future past, other place, other person, just a clear, spacious, primordial consciousness. Last 3 breaths. Enjoy them. And retaining that feeling of soft ease and presence, just let your hands melt. Feel free to find a seat somewhere safe. Make sure your chair is where you think it is. I know many of you have somewhere to be. We're a little past 1 here, so feel free to wander as needed. Stop recording here.